person from the north why they live there, and you will get a response that is tightly connected to a strong sense of place and belonging. Living and working in northern coastal communities provides some of the most fulfilling, culturally rich, almost exotic lifestyle that an individual who connects with the natural environment and a quality of life can hope for. The beautiful outdoors, the majestic landscapes, the seascapes, and the remote geography of northern environments are often the very features that also make these regions the most challenging for building infrastructure and delivering key services. Advancements in technology and digital networks, thankfully, now present solutions to tackle these challenges and are making it possible not only to live and work in these regions, but to live and work in ways that traditionally have not been possible. I've had the pleasure of living and working in Labrador for the past 30 years, and through my work as manager with Smart Labrador, I've gained some valuable insight in introducing and adopting digital services within northern communities. The economy of Labrador continues to be tied to the land and the sea. However, technology has penetrated every local industry in ways that have now become critical in their future development and operations. For those of you who are new to Labrador, it's part of Canada's most easterly province, Newfoundland and Labrador. It's some 280,000 square kilometers in landmass, with a population of less than 30,000 people spread across 32 communities. We are very rich in resources across many sectors, but like many rural and northern areas, we struggle with the challenges of securing adequate benefits from developments that are taking place on our doorsteps. We're also having now to address the issues of outmigration, urbanization, and aging demographics, and we need to find new ways to live in our communities while still maintaining some basic level of key services. Digital networks have been helping us to face these challenges and to improve capacity and services at the community level. Labrador's development of digital networks actually started in 2001 with a pan-regional initiative. This initiative created the Smart Labrador Network, which utilized a combination of satellite and terrestrial systems to bring high-speed services to 2 locations in all local communities. These locations included a local health clinic and a public accessible facility such as a school or a municipal building, and it provided the region with its first video conferencing and internet access. Smart Labrador had envisioned a common future for residents linked to enhanced communications and delivery of a wide range of services in healthcare, justice, education, business, government, and community life. The plan at the start of building Labrador's network was to create an example of how people linked by good networks could transform the challenges of distance and cultural diversity into opportunities for a dramatically enhanced social and economic life. Working with sector partners, these services were indeed developed and delivered to our communities as part of a 4-year demonstration initiative. Substantial benefit had been realized in saving cost and time while delivering important services to the communities. As demand grew for digital services, so too did the need for infrastructure improvements. In 2005, we continued through public-private collaboration, although it was more public than private, meaning it was heavily subsidized by the public purse. We proceeded to build a DSL network to provide high-speed services to homes and businesses throughout Labrador. Within 3 years of this build, the network was maxed out with absolutely no capacity to add new accounts, and we were experiencing serious congestion issues that was falling well below the acceptable quality of service standards for our economic and social needs. Demand for digital services within Labrador had exploded. Residents, businesses, and all sectors had fully adopted broadband. The local demand had continued to grow, with our large and small-scale companies benefiting from and relying more and more on broadband services for their management, production, marketing, and service delivery. This, of course, meant we had to move towards infrastructure that would facilitate fiber services. The most recent plan entails a 3-phased approach for a fiber network throughout Labrador. With Phase 1 completed in 2012 and Phase 2 scheduled for completion in 2016, this leaves Phase 3, which affects our most northerly region, and also our most geographically and financially challenging phase. Our hope is that the federal government of Canada will work with providers to complete this phase over the next couple of years. The economic case for expanding broadband services in Labrador and its significance can be put into context by reflecting on similar large regional infrastructure projects such as highway connections, electricity, and earlier telecommunications. Each of these developments transformed economic activity for our businesses and residents and enabled new opportunities and better positioned Labrador to grow and prosper. These benefits were not obvious to everyone at the time of capital investment, but today it's difficult to conceive how the economy could possibly function without them. The same is true for broadband developments, not only in Labrador, but in all northern regions. Although my presentation up to this point is focused on our infrastructure development, I'm anxious to share with you how these developments have impacted the communities of Labrador and the life of our residents. According to evaluators and key economic reports, the impacts of ICTs are often measured according to three areas: e-readiness, which refers to the extent to which quality technological, commercial, and social infrastructures necessary to support development have been established; e-intensity, which refers to the extent that information communication technologies and ICT services are being accessed and exploited by users; and finally, e-impact, which refers to the value that is created by the usage of ICTs and ICT services in a community. In other words, what are the social and economic outcomes? How has efficiency been increased? How has cost effectiveness been improved? Has new wealth been generated? And has the welfare of citizens been improved? Following the implementation of Labrador's plan towards e-readiness, we have seen major adoption of the technologies made available in our communities. Although we've not had the luxury of a formal evaluation or measurement of our e-intensity, I can tell you anecdotally that the usage has been substantial and crosses all sectors and facets of our lifestyle. Addressing the connectivity challenge is only one piece of the larger puzzle to close the digital divide and to build active participation within the digital community. In Labrador's case, all development towards the digital society has been implemented under the guiding principle of keeping plans focused on people and assisting their ability to utilize the technology. Throughout the process of building and operating the Smart Labrador initiative, there was continuous effort to build knowledge about the technology and its benefits, as well as training to help people acquire the necessary skills to use the technology within their lives and work. This capacity building has been important in Labrador and is absolutely critical in any future digital development that is to take place across the Arctic. It's important to find ways to marry local knowledge with technology and to build local knowledge through technology. This will help lead to innovation, enhanced services, and business development. It's important that we ensure we make the most of what is and what will most likely continue to be the high-cost investments in technology development strategies in northern regions. We must make sure that the focus is not entirely on infrastructure, but is also inclusive of the end user. We must ensure there are plans to address local capacity building. We need inclusion of local people in all stages of the development. Local capacity building is not always high on the agenda of service providers or corporate investors, but it's important for policymakers and industry to understand the importance of this for success of ICT strategies. Real success is dependent upon this. Building local capacity will help lead to local content, local innovation, and creation of new opportunities. There's never been a time when so many people have been able to communicate, been able to share information, interact with each other across vast distances, and to access services ordinarily not available in remote locations. In Labrador's case, it started with a need, and services were built to address those needs. There was a need to improve communications within and outside our local communities. There was a need to improve the delivery of basic services in health, education, justice, and other government services. And we also had a need to build new opportunities in business and employment for our local citizens. To maximize benefits and to realize opportunities that will have lasting impact to northern regions, however, requires some thinking outside the box. It's necessary to ensure that strategies include approaches that will empower individuals and communities. This will involve new roles, or at least change roles, for the private sector and government, and will require active participation at the community level. This can be achieved, I believe, through new and different business models, partnerships, and committed corporate and public investment into strategies that focus on more than infrastructure and development. One of the final points I'd like to make in this presentation is to highlight the ability that technology has afforded our region to advance the creation and utilization of networks to share knowledge and dialogue both within Labrador and with other regions. We've spent a great deal of time and effort to facilitate and support the creation and development of several web-based networks and applications that enable knowledge sharing, dialogue, and collaboration across communities and businesses within Labrador and across the North Atlantic region. We've come to rely on the ability to connect with local business networks and regional information websites for procurement sourcing, potential partners, and to support local recruitment and retention efforts. This culture of connections, knowledge sharing, and partnership has been pivotal in helping businesses meet their telecommunication needs and to increase their productivity, but also in overcoming some of the significant barriers to doing businesses in rural and northern areas. I hope I've enlightened you on Labrador's approach to ICT development, and I sincerely thank NORA for inviting me to be part of this important discussion on digital development in the Arctic. Thank you.